This video is going to be one of the longest videos ever, I think. I'm going to go through all of my eye product inventory today. So I'm going to go through all of my eyeshadow palettes, all of my single eyeshadows, all of my potted eyeshadows, all of my eyeliners, all of my glitters. Oh my god, even just listing these, I'm getting scared. I'm getting worried. I'm getting nervous. But as you can see here, these are my more small palettes. I'm going to do this video in sections, otherwise it's just going to get so just messy and all over the place. So I'm gonna try and make it easy for myself, as easy as it can possibly be. So sections are definitely a good idea, but this is gonna be so long. Get comfy, get a snack, get a drink. Oh my god, clock in, because this is going to be a shift. I'm telling you that for free. But just before we do jump into this video, if you have not already, like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me, and I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup looks, project panning, shop my stashes, all that fun stuff. So if that sounds like a good time to you, then definitely stick around. I would love to have you in the family, and I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I really think we can do it quite early, to be honest. It is crazy the amount of growth I've had recently, so thank you all so much. But with that being said, I am going to jump straight into it, because it's going to be a long one already, so I don't want to make it even longer. Let's clear this space and let's talk about some eyeshadow palettes. Alright, so I think I'm going to start with P. Louise. So these are my two P. Louise eyeshadow palettes. Let's start with this. This is the Stack 'em Up Talk is Cheap eyeshadow palette. And this is what this palette looks like. It is so beautiful. It is the perfect mix of teals and blues and this beautiful kind of periwinkly purple matte as well. It is just beautiful. I've decided I'm only going to swatch one shade out of all of these palettes, because otherwise I'm gonna be here forever. I'm gonna pick my favorite shade because, yeah, otherwise I'm just gonna be absolutely covered. And I'm gonna swatch this shade, which is called Get Up and Grind, and it is the most beautiful iridescent-y bluey greeny shade. That is so stunning. I'm hoping you can see that like greeny blue flip on this. Just absolutely beautiful. I need to pull this out. I'm hoping to put this in a Shop My Stash quite soon, because I do neglect this palette, but it is so good. So next P. Louise palette is the Winter Wonderland palette. And I'm going to say now, my lighting might be going in and out in this video just because of the brightness of all of the palettes. My camera does try to like auto white balance, I guess, and auto brightness, and I need to try and fix that. I'm not sure how to do that right now, but this is the Winter Wonderland, and I've said before, I really like these two like gradient color stories, but I really don't think we need the middle shades in each of the color stories, and I feel like we could have put a few different shades in. The purpose of eyeshadow is to blend together. You don't need one like pixel of the color wheel each. You can just like blend them. So yeah, this shade can probably go, and then this shade can probably go, but hey, it is what it is. And of course I'm gonna swatch Snow in Love. Oh, you can see that duochrome so well there. I'm gonna try and keep these swatches quite close together because I know it's going to be carnage, but that shade is stunning. I love this. Again, it's one of them. I need to use it more. You're going to hear me say that so many times in this video, so I'm just warning you now. Next, I have two Huda palettes. So let's start with the Neon Orange Obsessions. This is such a nice summer palette. You can see I have pan on this shade here. And normally I'm not into like warm tones, but this, oh my god, this could be such a nice companion palette to my Modern Renaissance. Guys, I've just figured that out. But this is perfect for summer. For when I am feeling a little bit more warm tone, I have really enjoyed this palette just because it's something a little bit different. I don't have anything like this in my collection. I feel like all the palettes, all the warm tone palettes that I have are very like neutral, but this is just fun and vibrant. And I'm going to swatch this Chartreuse shade here. I've been on a Chartreuse kick recently. If you've been on my channel for the past few weeks, weeks, you will know that chartreuse has just been my life. I'm not even gonna lie. I had chartreuse nails the other month and I've just been in a chartreuse mood. Who can blame me? It's such a beautiful color and I love this palette so much. Again, I need to pull it out. And then we have the Wild Jaguar palette. This is definitely more up my street. It's like smoky, cool tone, gorgeous, beautiful. This shade is currently in my Those Eyeshadows as well. So this is in my kind of makeup drawers at the moment. And I've just loved getting to use this. And of course, I do have to swatch this. Sometimes with project panning, you can like fall out of love with some eyeshadow shades, but sometimes they just reaffirm it even more how much you love them. And this shade is definitely one of them. I'm hoping you can see how sparkly that purple shade is. It is so beautiful. I use this with Bonfresco in my Pan That palette so much, and now I finished Bonfresco, I don't know what to do. I feel a bit lost. But this palette is stunning, beautiful, love it. Let's talk about Nabla. This is definitely a neglected palette in my collection. It's very neutral, and because of that, I just feel like I'm always panning other neutral eyeshadow palettes, but this needs some love. I'm going to swatch Luxuriance, and I barely touched that, and you can see how ridiculously bright and pigmented that shade is. This silver is honestly breathtaking. I love it so much. This shade Gem System is just gorgeous as well. These two mattes are stunning. This is the kind of palette that makes me excited to cut back on my project pans a little bit just because I want to use this. I want to get to love it. And I think it is such a gorgeous palette just to be rolled in for like a few weeks. Just make some really nice everyday looks. I think that would be beautiful. So I'm really hoping to get love on this. This was in the running to be my Pan That palette this year, but it did lose out. And I'm sad. This makes me sad that I can't use it. So now let's talk She Glam. I don't support She Glam anymore. I really don't like the ethics of the brand. It's not something that I want to support, but I do have this palette in my collection, so I'm not going to be decluttering it just because I've already bought it. I do enjoy it. I should say now, this is not a declutter video, by the way. This is just a collection and inventory. So yeah, this is a beautiful palette. This shade shocked me when I hit pan on it because these pans are so shallow. And I know, you know, it's She Glam. Obviously, I'm not going to get loads of product, but I can't explain to you how shallow these pans are. They are like 3 millimeters. Like, it is crazy. That is that shade swatch there. It is beautiful. This shade is stunning. And it definitely gives me Subculture vibes. I really do like the color story. The mattes are a little bit on the dry side, which I'm not keen on. But overall, this color story is really beautiful. And who knows, maybe it will be in a project sometime because I would like to have it out of my collection. Again, I don't support She Glam. I don't like their ethics. So maybe that'll be a good motivator to get this out of my collection. This is a tiny baby palette from Shall We, and this is the Deathless Spirit eyeshadow palette. I love this thing so much. This is my first experience with Shall We, and it's just beautiful. I love it. I did do a review and I did a Get Ready With Me not too long ago with this palette, and I'm gonna swatch this shade. Of course, this is so vibrant. It's one of those opal kind of shades. It's got some blue, some purple, just absolutely beautiful. And look, the chartreuse, it looks like this. I love a blue and a chartreuse. I love contrasting colors, so this palette has been just gorgeous. Next I have this. This is the Haggard Cosmetics, what is it called? You see my chin there. Hey, it's the Capture Tonight palette. You're just gonna have to deal with me here. Hello. I did get this sent to me in PR, and it was, I'm wearing my hoodie. Okay, right. Guys, I'm really poorly today, okay? You gotta look at my face. I'm really poorly today. I'm in my fluffy hoodie thing. But yeah, this was sent to me in PR. I'm so unbelievably grateful. Of course, I'm swatching this shade. This palette is a lot darker than I thought it would be originally. They definitely have very, very deep black bases all of these shades do. But the look that I did with this is beautiful. You can see this is one of those blue to purpley duochromes. It is just so stunning. If you're in the market for like a super grungy, like gothy kind of palette, this I would recommend very, very much. It is amazing quality, and I'm looking forward to getting more love on this. Then finally, for this little section, I do have my Lion King and Revolution palettes. I've been over these so many times, I just don't think I could ever get rid of them. I don't really like the quality of these, but the Lion King, that's all I have to say. On this palette, I'll probably swatch Lioness. This is like my favorite shade. It's a chartreuse, who's shocked? And then this one, I don't know, maybe Throne is my favorite shade. They are so stunning. Like color story wise, they are really pretty, but I just don't like the quality of them. The shimmers are really, really thick. I am wearing this shade and this shade today, and it's just not good. They're not good. They're not pigmented at all. But the Lion King, I really don't know if I'll be able to ever get rid of these because I'm such a Lion King nerd. It is ridiculous. I just love them so much. Then I have a ColourPop hoard to talk about. So let's make a dent in these. So let's start with the ColourPop Elsa palette. Let's move these up a little bit. So this is what this one looks like. I was definitely pulled in by the blue, 100%. I am such a blue lover. I absolutely love blue so much. And I kind of forgot that there was only one blue in here because these other shades I'm not really a fan of. I'm not like a big warm tone, especially like pink person. This shade is probably my favorite. This is Northern Lights, and it really does look like the Northern Lights. It's got like pink and green in it. It's got a big dip in this actually as well, so who knows? Maybe I'll have pan on that in the future, but the quality is really, really lovely. It's just the color story. It does kind of throw me a little bit. Next, I have my favorite. This is Blue Moon, and oh my goodness me. Look at her. She is gorgeous. This got me obsessed with blue. This got me in my blue eyeshadow just love affair. I absolutely adore it. And the shade Lumi is what I'm going to call my future dog. Yep, because of this shade, it is just the most beautiful shade. It is like one of those white to blue iridescent kind of tones. Just stunning. Look at that. I really want to play with this palette even more very, very soon. You can see I have a massive pan on Clued In. I used to have a pan on Lumi, but it's kind of smashed in the pan and I had to repress it. But more pans in this palette is an absolute must. Next, I have Orange You Glad, and this is probably my least used ColourPop palette. I have said before, if I'm going to reach for color, I want it to be like bright, colorful, in your face. I feel like orange is a very like neutral color, you know? I don't know, I've just not used it that much. You can probably tell compared to the other palettes, it's not very used. But when I do use this and when I like properly reach for this, I do really like it. So I don't know, maybe this is going to be a companion palette for Modern Renaissance because it could go really, really well with my remaining shades. This shade is screaming at me, Mimosa Mammy. This is like a vibrant, vibrant orange. Wow. Yeah, that is bright. I love that. Like for summer, I feel like I always say like, oh, this palette's perfect for summer, but I live in England. So yeah, there's a little bit of a problem there. We don't really have a summer. So who knows, maybe one day this will see the sun. And then next for that little pile, I have the High Tide palette. Again, one of my absolute favorites. I just love green and blue, like teal and blue, absolutely amazing. I love this palette because you've got like a more warm toned quarter and then like a more cool tone quarter, just so gorgeous. I want to swatch Free Floatin'. Oh, just stunning, just stunning. This shade is beautiful, and I just love that so much. This palette, gorgeous. Next, we have the Honey palette, and I do have one pan in here. Yeah, this one has a pan. This one's really, really close to having a pan in it as well, so that's amazing. This is like a bit of eyeshadow that's gone rogue. When I reach for this palette, I love the looks that come out. However, I don't reach for it much because it does kind of scare me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. An all yellow look on me, I really do love it. But I am scared of it. So yeah, it's not like a conventional color to play with, but let's swatch Sweet Spot. Because that is so vibrant. I love that so much. I love yellow as a pop of color. And I do use this palette a lot for like a pop of color combined with other palettes. But on its own, it does scare me a little bit. So definitely need to reach for this more. Next is Main Squeeze. And this is what this one looks like. So pretty. I feel like red brings out my eyes so well. I have very light blue eyes. And these shades are perfect for that. But again, red looks scare me. I don't know, they just do. Maybe this will be really, really good for red ochre in my Pan That palette. Definitely when I'm really starting to focus on that, this will come out and play. But red, it does just scare me a little bit. But I mean, if I reach for this, I know I'm going to have a really nice look. You know what I should do? I should start doing that like palette bingo kind of thing, but like the roulette, is that what it is? Like I have like a wheel and every day I like spin the wheel and make a look using that wheel. I think that would be so interesting. But what shade am I gonna swatch? Let's swatch, oh, I don't know, Like It's Hot. Let's go for this one. That is what that shade looks like. This is definitely more of a pinky red. One of my pet peeves is when an eyeshadow has a red and then you blend it out and it's actually a pink in disguise. Like that annoys me so much. But with this kind of blending transition shade, you don't really get that. So that's good. Making Mauves. I actually fell in love with this recently. And I know I was not expecting it at all. What was this in? Was this like a No Pan Left Behind or something like that? And I rolled this in and I was like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy this. And I loved this thing. This thing was like my ride or die for a good few weeks. And then it went back in my drawers and then I never reached for it again. But this shade, of course, oh my God, is what I'm going to be swatching. Boom. It's so creamy. Oh my goodness. That is so beautiful. I think that's like the most shimmery one that we've swatched so far. It is just one of a kind. Well, it's not. It's not one of a kind. I'm getting carried away there, but I never thought I'd be a mauve girl, but I know I could reach for this and make a really beautiful look. This was the palette that I rolled in. That was it. I think this was my first companion palette for my Pan That palette project because I was trying to finish off a shade very similar to Big Fig, and then I rolled this in just to get more use on it and more kind of ways to use Bonfresco, and I could not stop using this. It was gorgeous. So yeah, I love this one. Then we have It's My Pleasure, and this is what this one looks like. Purple I do use as like a pop sometimes, but I don't use it often, and if I do use it, it's definitely going to be more of a cool tone purple rather than a warm tone purple. Like this shade terrifies me. This is the shade Bare Minimum, and these like red base purple shimmers really scare me because I don't like them. However, shades like Earthshine, Mr. Sandman, Sleeper as well is such a beautiful shade to wear with blues. And Chiclet as well. I need to wear this with a blue because that is such a blue base purple. That could go so well with like a blue smoky eye. Oh my God, yes. Then I have Just My Luck, and I feel like this is like the second least used palette in my ColourPop collection. But guess what? It has a chartreuse, Lady Jane. Oh my God, I love you. I do have pan on Lady Jane and on Charmed. So there are 2 pans in this palette, which is pretty good going. I'm really happy about that. But all green looks, I'm just a bit scared of. Again, I need to, right, my plan is, hear me out. When I cut back on some more of my palettes, I might bring back my No Pan Left Behind project pan because I've really been missing it. It's one that I cut out and I stopped doing recently, but I've also done quite a few other finales. But No Pan Left Behind, I miss her, and it really let me just use all of my collection. And I might have like one random palette and then one hand-chosen palette maybe in that project pan, and I think that's going to be a really good thing to do. But not yet. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm still downsizing. I'm still trying to cut back a little bit on project pans, but I'm going to swatch Mary Jane, of course. It is my favorite shade in this palette. Boom. Here we go. I feel like that's definitely more of a greeny chartreuse rather than these other chartreuses that we swatched. This definitely has more green in it, and I love that. And finally, for Colourpop, this is the That's Taupe palette. You can see I've had a bit of an accident with it here, so I'm just going to leave it like this and deal with that later. But Slated, yes, this is my Project Level Up palette right now, and I've not actually been able to reach for it that much. I am thinking of cutting back on Project Level Up because it's a very, very committed kind of project. I have to hit 3 pans in this. It's a lot, and I really don't want that. I'm gonna replace Level Up with No Pan Left Behind, I think, just because I don't want to have like 10 palettes that I'm trying to pan. It's really stressful for me. I really don't like it. So I don't know. I've loved playing with this a little bit over the past month, but I think it would be just as well loved in a No Pan Left Behind kind of situation, things like that. So yeah, Level Up is probably going to be phased out, unfortunately. All right, that is all my small palettes. In that section, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 palettes. So let's move on to another little section of palettes. All right, next I have some bigger palettes, and I'm going to go through all of these as well. I am having a really good time swatching all of these gorgeous palettes today, so let's keep going. Let's jump straight into this section. All right, so let's start with my Bella Pierre All Stars palette. This is my Pan That palette in order, and I'm gonna go through all of the shades and try and pan them. This shade was left out because it was very similar to a shade I was already panning, and then this is my focus shade for right now. So let's swatch something. Oh, this is so close to hitting pan as well, so that's amazing. I've got a lot of shades that are quite close to pan, and I have a hair in it, so let's move that. I'm gonna swatch this shade, I think. This is such a unique, like, grey purple shade, and let's swatch that there. It's got like flecks of purple and blue in it, which is just so stunning. I can't wait for this one to be my next shade that I'm panning in this. I really struggled to get that sentence out for some reason, but yeah, I'm really, really loving this palette. Then we have ABH. Now, are you ready for this? Here we go, Modern Renaissance. What an old gal. I have repressed Realgar if you didn't see my shorts on that, but I'm really trying to get this palette done by the end of the year, and I don't know, do you think I can do it? I'm not sure. You're gonna have to keep up with my Pan That palette updates. They come on the 1st of every single month, and I am just working my way slowly through these 3 shades. A lot of sunset looks, a lot of warm tone looks, just, it's been a lot. It's been a ride with this. I started panning this at the start of 2023, so it's been nearly 2 years that I have been working on finishing this. It has just been a lot. Let's just say that. It's been a lot, but the end is in sight. I've definitely learned that I'm not going to continue a Pan That palette over the 1 year mark because I just feel so burnt out with this, and even if this isn't finished by the end of the year, I will still have a break from it. I do want to finish it completely, so I'd probably roll it in later on, maybe in my Pan That palette series, but I'm definitely going to want to just have a break from this at the end of the year. I want to try and finish Realgar very soon. I don't know if it's going to be this month, just because it's so firmly pressed, but I actually repressed this not that firmly, and it's still firmly pressed, so it just wants to be firmly pressed all the time. I'm not going to swatch this palette because honestly, like, there's 3 shades left, but I thought I'd show it to you guys anyway. Next I have Soft Glam, and this is definitely a more neutral palette as well. I do have a few pans in this, as you can see, and this was a companion palette not that long ago, and I absolutely loved Orange Soda with Realgar. It worked so well, but I did kind of find that I wasn't keen on these shimmers. They're just like not very impactful. But if I do use the shimmers with like a topper, then that's kind of good to go. That's how I like to use it. Again, very, very warm tone. There is Dusty Rose and maybe like Rose Pink that are kind of cool tone leaning, but otherwise very, very warm toned. I'm gonna swatch the shade Sultry which is not a shade that I reach for on my eyes very much at all. I do like very light shimmers, but yeah, this one's really pretty. So yeah, I've had a play around with this recently. It's fine. It's not like an absolute staple in my collection, but it's still quite nice. And finally, for my ABH collection, I do have Subculture. Now, I love Subculture. Hashtag justice for Subculture. I know it has a lot of haters on the internet, but I just think it's gorgeous. This whole color story is so up my alley, and I just think it's beautiful. I do have pan on the shade Cube and the shade Axis, which I love both of these shades, but Electric is definitely the standout shade from this palette. Look at that. Oh, yes. This is one of those like green to brown duochromes. It is something else completely. I just love it so much. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get some use on this soon. Now I have, actually, I'm gonna bring in these two as well. So my little Natasha Denona section. So let's start with the Glam palette. This is the Natasha Denona Glam. It was gifted to me by my wonderful friend, Ali. Thank you so much, Ali. I have a love-hate relationship with Natasha Denona, and honestly, mostly it is like we're not friends. This is a very subtle formula. Even these two palettes, which are more colorful, are more of a subtle formula. They're not like the bright indie eyeshadows that I know and love. And I need to remember that when I reach for this. This is a very business, a very like funeral. I've worn this to a funeral, like very good for things like that. But for my everyday, it's probably not the thing that I would choose to reach for. However, this paired with maybe like Ritz or something like that would be so gorgeous. So who knows? I'm gonna swatch this shade Inner Corner. This is probably the most intense shimmer in this palette. So I'm gonna swatch that there. Like that shimmer is really, really nice. But the others just aren't like that. So yeah, very, very strange for me. My mind changes on this palette like every single day. And then I have two of the mini palettes here. So this is my mini Star. It looks a little bit different to the original because I did get rid of this original shade and replace it with the shade Beetle from the Pastel Roses. It just has so much more impact, and honestly, the original shade in this palette offended me, so I just got rid of it. Here we go. That is that swatch there. It is so stunning and impactful and beautiful. So I did have this in an everyday makeup drawer recently. I did do a look with it and I did enjoy it, to be honest. So maybe now that this shade has been decluttered, this can be a little bit more in the limelight. And who knows, maybe it could be a Pan That palette because it is very everyday, but also with a pop. So that could be kind of fun. I don't know. And then the mini Trio Chrome. This got me. This really did get me. Yeah, so I have been waiting for Natasha Denona to do a colourful eyeshadow palette for literally years, specifically a blue palette. And then this came out and I was like gagging, and I just don't like the quality of it really. It's not for me, definitely not. I'll swatch this duochrome. It swatches great on camera, like it looks so vibrant on camera, but as soon as you get it on the eyes, it's just like not the best. So this is what I don't really like about Natasha Denona. Her shimmers are very like satiny. If you compare it to this indie duochrome, which is so glistening and piecey and vibrant, this is just more smooth, and I personally don't like that. I know a lot of people love that in a shimmer, but it's just not for me. So yeah, Natasha Denona, it's one of those brands, I don't know if I'm here or there. It's a confusing one for me. Next, I have two Titanium Foxes eyeshadow palettes, and these were both sent to me in PR. So I'm going to start with Poppy Storm, I think. And this is what this palette looks like. It is so beautiful. I just love this thing so much. Titanium Foxes is such an amazing brand. I will always love them. They are just beautiful. I'm going to swatch the middle shades in these palettes because they are definitely the most just intense and amazing. I'm gonna have to start on this side now. So here we go. That is the shade, what is it? Poppy Lava? Oh no, I've got swatches on this palette. Yeah, that's the shade Poppy Lava. It's the most vibrant red to green. I reach for these all the time. I just love them so much. And then the sister palette, the Poppy Quiet. This is the newer one in the collection. And I know I said I'd swatch the middle shade, but actually this is my favorite shade, Poppy Cry. Oh my goodness me. Can you see that? This is one of the most vibrant opal shades that I have, and I reach for this all the damn time. I try and pair this with shades that this should not be going with just because I love it so much. So yeah, these two palettes, so stunning. Would recommend 100%. Then I have two palettes from another favorite brand. This is the Pastel Roses. And here I have the Rose Delights palette. This was sent to me in PR and I am so unbelievably grateful. I am wearing this shade Passion and this shade Luster today. I don't know if you can see my eye look. I don't know. It's a warm tone. Oh, I'm also wearing this as well, Whispers. So here we go. I've not had the chance to play around with this too much. This is definitely new in my collection, but I've used this like 3 times so far in some looks, and I'm just so obsessed with it. I'm of course going to swatch the shade Date Night. It is the blue, and that is what this shade looks like. These are definitely more piecey shimmers, which as I said before is like so up my street. I love the more piecey, glittery kind of shimmers, just so stunning. And then the Frozen Dreams palette was a gift from my boyfriend for Valentine's Day. It's very like blue and I love contrasting colors as well, so this is absolutely brilliant for me. I'm gonna swatch the shade Tail. This is almost like a smoother version of that other shade. I just love it so much. Just such a stunning palette. And yeah, a very unique color story, I think, as well. Sticking with indie brands, this is the Cosmic Brushes, or Cosmic Beauty, I think they're going by now. This is the Cool Trolls palette. And I did do a review and a 3 looks 1 palette with this palette on my channel. I'm going to swatch this shade Tempting. This is again one of those super beautiful cool tone purple shimmers. Let's put that one there. And it does have a few like blue specks in it as well. Just beautiful. I love this so much. Then finally for this section, this is my Carnival XL Pro. What a relic. What a relic this is. I love this palette so much. You can tell it has been so used and abused. I've nearly finished this shade Pillow Talk as well, and the amount of pans in this is crazy. What do I want to swatch today? Let's swatch Inspire. I love my cool tone neutrals, and boom, look at that. Yep, beautiful. I absolutely love it. So now let's move on to the next section of my eyeshadows. I have another section of eyeshadow palettes. Then I'm going to run through my single eyeshadow collection, and then some glitters, and then some eyeliners. So we've still got a hell of a long way to go. I hope you're all still comfy. I hope you're all still enjoying this video. Let's move on. All right, next I have even more indie brands. I absolutely adore my indie palettes. So let's go through these and give them some swatches. So I'm gonna start with my Beauty Bay palettes. These are the palettes that I have from Beauty Bay. I absolutely love them all. So I'm gonna start with my Book of Magic. This is definitely my favorite palette of the bunch. You can tell because I've just used it so much. Look at all these eyeshadow pans. It is crazy. And yeah, I want even more eyeshadow pans in this palette because I can never stop. I just can't. What am I going to swatch today? I will swatch maybe the shade Wish. I don't swatch many mattes, but the mattes in this palette I actually love more than the shimmers, just because the mattes are just so vibrant. Look at that matte shade. Are you kidding me? This is stunning. I'm not a huge fan of the shimmers in this palette. I do reach for the mattes a lot more. I think you can tell by what shades I have pan on. It's like all the mattes. The shimmers just seem a little bit thick in this palette. The thick shimmers definitely aren't as much of a thing in the newer Beauty Bay palettes, but this palette, it does just have like a bit thick, a bit creasy for me. But the mattes are just out of this world. Love, 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 love that. This was actually going to be my Pan That palette. This came in second place. And who knows, maybe next year? Maybe. Next is my newest one. This is the Botanical palette. This has a very special place in my heart because I know it's a little bit taboo to talk about, but my affiliate link for this palette was like the biggest success I could ever ask for. It was like overwhelmingly amazing. So thank you all so much. I did do a review and a 3 looks 1 palette with this. And my favorite shade is definitely Waterfall. This is a blue to kind of greeny yellow shade. I'm gonna swatch that there. And when it comes to this palette, they have definitely sorted out the like thick shimmer issue with Beauty Bay. The mattes and the shimmers are just all gorgeous. So if you're looking for a Beauty Bay palette but you don't want those like thick shimmers, this palette is so well done. They've definitely sorted out that issue. Then we have the Wilderness, and this is what this one looks like. Every time I open this palette, I'm just like flabbergasted. These reds aren't the best. Like this is very like thick and not very nice at all. But I do have 1, 2, 3 pans in here and I just love them all. This shade Breeze is just so beautiful. Wow, these two could go together really well. Oh my goodness. I need to do like a palette collab almost with the Wilderness and the Book of Magic because I feel like they will go together so well. And next is the Reckless Romance. I have done a video review with this as well. I really did enjoy this. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it just because I'm not the biggest pink lover in the world, but this palette really blew me away. I love these cool tone, taupey, grey kind of shades as well. They definitely made me intrigued about this palette. If it wasn't for these shades, I would not be wanting to buy this palette at all, but these greys got me. And my favorite shade is this shade, which is the shade Girlfriend. It is so vibrant. It is crazy. Look at that. It is so bright. Love. And they are all my eyeshadow palettes, I'm pretty sure. So in April, I had 34 eyeshadow palettes and now I have 37. So I actually don't know where some of these palettes have gone, just because I've been sent so many eyeshadow palettes in PR over the past few months. Like it is kind of crazy. So I really don't know where my palettes have gone. Oh my gosh, these, I forgot about these. Okay, so 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 41 palettes. That's where they were. They were being hidden. So yeah, I haven't spoken about these yet. So just kidding. We've got more eyeshadow palettes. So I can't believe I forgot them. This is the Zulu palette. This is going to make my screen very dark. I apologize. This was one of the first palettes that I bought and it was just my gateway drug into colorful eyeshadow. You can see I have 3 pans in this palette and I definitely want to get more pans because it's such a sentimental palette for me. It, again, was one of my first and honestly, one of the best. Look at that shimmer. Are you having a giggle? Look at that shimmer. It is so stunning. This quality is absolutely out of this world. It blows so much out the park. Juvia's Place is such an amazing brand when it comes to eyeshadows. I love that. Next, I have the Odin's Eye Christmas Eve palette. This was my first run-in with Odin's Eye, and I absolutely adore this. This whole color story is so up my alley. It is crazy. I love these blues. I love these kind of more cool tone neutrals. Just beautiful. I'm going to swatch Silvery Dream because this is definitely a silvery dream. Look at that. Wow. This reminds me of Ritz quite a lot. It is just so impactful, so beautiful. Love that. Then Odin's Eye sent me this in PR. This is the Solomon 2 Moon Wish eyeshadow palette. And I have done a 3 looks with this and also a first impressions if you were interested in that. I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed, even more so because they actually sent this to me. Oh my gosh, I'm still like absolutely baffled by that. I'm gonna swatch this shade Moonlight. Abu. That is what that one looks like. It's one of those blue to purple shades. So vibrant and stunning. This is so beautiful. Like this shade Dust is just my everyday dream. I love it. And finally, for real this time, I'm pretty sure, this is my custom eyeshadow palette from Lethal. I'm not a fan of Lethal, actually. I'm really, really not, which is really, really sad because this cost me so much damn money. I'm going to swatch this shade, which is one of those icy blue shades. I don't know if you can't even see the swatch. Don't know if you can see here. It's just a bit thin. I don't know, this is the only product that I've tried from Lethal Cosmetics and I've just been a bit underwhelmed. So yeah, there we go. So 41 eyeshadow palettes. That makes more sense. 41. We're up a few. We're up a little bit, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I've literally forgotten another one. 42 eyeshadow palettes. Jesus Christ, they keep multiplying. They're like rabbits. Okay, this is... I'm pretty sure this is the last one. I know I keep saying that. I'm pretty sure. I'm so sorry. This was in my everyday makeup drawer, so I'm checking now, and I think that is it. I'm probably gonna have another one. 42! It keeps going, but this is so stunning. Like, this palette I love. This is one of my drugstore favorites, and I got this for my birthday last year, and I just can't stop reaching for it. I want this to look more battered because it is honestly, like, one of the most beautiful palettes. Boom! This has made me fall in love with NYX Cosmetics, and I now just love everything that they release. I am a simp for NYX. Okay, right, I have my potted shadows here. Here we go. These are my potted eyeshadows here. Let's take them out. I have just looked through my everyday makeup drawer and taken them out of there as well. This towel is getting disgusting, but here we are. I might also throw this in with my kind of potted single eyeshadows. I don't know what category this would go in, but here we go. All right, I've just tried my best to get all those swatches off my arm. They are going to be stained a little bit, but this is what we are working with for potted single eyeshadows. So I'm probably going to do my ColourPop first, just because I love my ColourPop Super Shock shadows with all of my heart. Honestly, they are just so stunning. So I think this is my least favorite one. This is the shade Moonwalk, and this is one of those green to brown duochromes. It is still beautiful, but I really don't reach for this that much. Just green to browns aren't really my thing for some reason. It's so stunning, but I don't know, this color story just isn't one that I reach for often. So there we go. This is ColourPop Ice Dream, and this is one of those blue to purple iridescent shades. This is just gorgeous. I have the biggest pan and the biggest dip in this as well. It is just one of those I keep reaching for constantly because I love blue and I just love these kind of opal shades. And next I have two quite similar looking shades. So this is I Heart This. And then this, oh, if I don't drop it, is Ritz. So they look very, very similar, but they are very different. So I Heart This is gorgeous, and I heart this. This has a lot more base pigment to it, and it's just a beautiful taupe shade. And then Ritz, it's brand new, so like she's raring to go. That is Ritz. You can definitely see the difference there. Ritz is definitely more of a topper. It has the most intense shine and shimmer in it. And then I Heart This is more of just like a traditional eyeshadow. So yeah, just absolutely stunning. I can't remember which top went on which, so we're just gonna have to improvise there. I just love Ritz so much. I did recently repurchase this and I do not regret a thing. Next, I'm going to swatch Urban Decay Space Cowboy next to Ritz because people say that it is a dupe, but honestly, I really don't think it is. So that is what Space Cowboy looks like next to Ritz. You can see it's not got as much shimmer at all. It's very, very firm compared to Ritz as well. Ritz has more of a cream formula, whereas this is definitely more very, very hard powder. And it also looks a little bit more red as well. I'm not sure if you can see that there. I still love it. I still use it. Very nice. Next is the Touch in Sol Metalist Sparkling Foiled Eyeshadow. This is more of a warm tone shade. It's just a nice kind of pale gold. Oh, that is so stunning and reflective. I really need to use this with like Realgar and the shades that are in my Pan That palette. Next is this. This is the Lottie London shade, what shade is this? Golden Hour. And this literally looks like molten gold on your eyes. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at this. I've been loving this recently. This has been in a Project 10 uses, and oh no, I've put the thing on the wrong way. Oh no, oh no. Yeah, it's been in, I think it's a Project 10 uses, and I've just been reaching for this constantly because, like, how can I not? It is gorgeous. I got this in a glossy box like ages ago. It is so dirty. Yeah, I got it in a glossy box so long ago, and I'm so glad to be using it. And then this, my Mitchell Drip Drip. I'm not normally a lover of liquid shadows, but this is so beautiful. I'll just give it a little bit more. This is like a silvery, like PC topper shade, and it is just so gorgeous to go over like a neutral eye or maybe like a blue eye, some kind of cool toned eyeshadow look. It just gives a beautiful like wash of glitter over the top of it. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So all of these are my single potted eyeshadows, not much of a category. So I don't think I counted potted single eyeshadows in my last round of inventory. So we're just gonna start with these. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So hopefully my next inventory series, I can build on this and go from there. Okay, so here we go. It's time for my single eyeshadows. This is a huge category. Do I need all these single eyeshadows? No, but I've just counted them all up. And right now, bear in mind I do have quite a lot sent to me in PR. I have 152 single eyeshadows, which is a lot. So in last April, I had 127. So we've gone up a lot. We've gone up quite a lot, which is not good. We've gone up 25 to be exact, which isn't like, it's not crazy. I have had 2 PR packages sent to me from the Pastel Roses, which is my favorite brand in the world. So I'm going to go through these. I'm not going to like swatch everything. I'm going to swatch what stands out to me. And yeah, we're just going to go through this. And then finally, after this, we're going to go through loose glitter. And then we're going to go through eyeliners. So I hope you are ready for this. Oh, we're on the home stretch, kind of. So let's start with the biggest boy here. So this is actually a multi-layer palette. I have 4 layers in here. So a lot of my singles are indie brand like duochrome shades, but also a lot of them are depotted shades from old eyeshadow palettes as well. So all of my J Star shadows are in here. I did buy the Revolution Maxi Reloaded Monster Mattes eyeshadow palette to put in here just to like beef out my matte collection a little bit. So I'm gonna just kind of very briefly go over this. I could go in depth and talk about all of these individually, but honestly, I would be here for hours, and I've already been filming for over an hour. So I'm just going to swatch what kind of takes my fancy. This is such a beautiful shade. I think this is Vixen. Yes, this is Vixen from the Pastel Roses. You're going to be seeing a lot of the Pastel Roses in this video, but this is what that one looks like. It is like a taupe with like a green flip in it. It is so unbelievably unique. Just look at that. And also I want to swatch this. This is a cream eyeshadow from Revolution. It is from the Revolution, I think it's like XX Revolution Exposed palette. And that is what that one looks like. So stunning, so pretty. I would like to have, in an ideal world, like a single eyeshadow palette for Pan That Palette, but I tried that this year and it just did not go down very well. So maybe I could make a companion palette to whatever I'm panning with singles and hopefully finish a few that way, because I do find that a lot of the time my single eyeshadows are quite neglected and I really don't want that. So this is my favorite little aisle, I guess, my favorite layer. These are blues, and you can see there are a few missing because they are in other palettes for different reasons. I want to swatch, oh, this is so stunning. This is Glass from KKW, and it's one of those super PC shimmers, like super PC, just topper kind of shades. I don't know how to describe it, but it is so stunning. That is definitely one of my favorites. And then this was sent to me recently in PR. It was so unbelievably smooth. It's one of those blue to purple duochromes, and that is Midnight Velvet from the Pastel Roses. So stunning. I'm going to try and stick to 2 per layer. This is my more pinky, purpley kind of layer, and again, a lot of the Pastel Roses, a lot of depotted shades. What do I want to swatch? I want to swatch this. That is the shade Dreamcatcher from the Pastel Roses, and it's one of those green to pinky mauve shades. Oh, just absolutely gorgeous. And let's swatch a matte, maybe like this one. This is kind of unique. So pigmented. Look at that. I think that's J Star. Yeah, that's not a fact from J Star. So yeah, you can see the problematic brands, they do get depotted and all of their branding goes away. Then I love this one as well. This little layer, it's like a tropical dream. I don't know. I think it's so fun. This is one of my favorite shades. This is the shade Food Videos, again from J Star. This does need some layering up, so I'm just gonna build it up a little bit, but that is what it looks like there. I just love a pop of yellow. I know I said this like 10 million years ago at the start of this video, but I love a pop of yellow with like any look, and this is like my go-to. And then let's swatch like one of these. So this is Apparition from MBA Cosmetics. Again, one of those brown to green duochromes. Definitely a lot more kind of subtle than Moonwalk that we just swatched, but really, really beautiful. I'm absolutely loving all of them. Then I have my purple palette here. This is again so beautiful, especially this row. I love my cool tone purples. So this is the shade Soul, which is just, oh, that was so smooth. This is one of my favorites. This is one of those blue to purple duochromes again. Just absolutely jaw-dropping. And then let's swatch Very Peri as well. I love the name of that. Like a super vibrant yellow with a periwinkle base. Absolutely drooling, love. This was from a recent PR package. They sent me this palette and also these singles in PR, again from the Pastel Roses. And let's swatch one of these. These are one of my new favorite formulas. Just watch this. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's Art Deco, and it's kind of like a thick everyday neutral, but the shine on this is stunning. I've used this on my eyes. I've done it in a shorts video, and it's just one of the most beautiful shimmers. Like, this formula is just jaw-dropping. And then in here there is also this shade called Glamour, which is again the same kind of formula. I feel like this I did use with this kind of taupey shade. This is my everyday makeup drawer palette right now for singles. This shade is cracking a little bit, so I might have to repress that soon. But this whole palette I've just loved playing with recently, and I actually kept this in for 2 months in my everyday makeup drawer because I just wasn't ready to let go of it yet. Next I have kind of overflow green kind of shades. This shade, Vision, looks like a white, but it is like a really vibrant green. Can you see that there? This was sent to me in PR as well. It's just like so stunning. Look at that thing. I just, oh, just all of these from the Pastel Roses are drop dead gorgeous. And then I do have this teeny tiny little palette here. This is in my Those Eyeshadows, and then I just have 2 random singles that really do need to go back in my makeup collection. But for right now, this is it. So these are my single magnetic eyeshadows. Oh my goodness me. We are nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. I could have spent an eternity on these, but I've just thought, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. This video is going to be long enough. So let's move on swiftly before I get yabbing. All right, here I have my glitters. Do you think I have enough? Incorrect. I do not have enough. I will never ever have enough. So I remember saying in my last inventory video in April that I had way too many loose glitters, and I'm counting these as glitters as well. And I had 38 back then. Okay, 38. Let me double check. Yes, 38. And I said that's way too many. Since then, I've been sent a hell of a lot in PR, so let's count these out. I'm really scared. I'm really, really scared. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Where have the other ones gone? Is this going to be another one where I just keep finding them like randomly after I finish speaking about them? 39. Oh, I think I know what I did. I think last month, and this is a massive reason why I'm doing this like more in-depth inventory, because I kept swapping products all the time. I think what I did last inventory is count the, not these, count the potted single eyeshadows as these in this category. I don't know what I did. I can never remember, and that is why I want to do this kind of video to really remember what category I have everything in. So, okay, if we do 38 minus how many potted single eyeshadows did I have? I would have had 30 last time, and now I've got 39. So I've gone up 9, which is kind of what I expected. I'm not gonna obviously swatch all of these because this is just crazy. Like this, I could never ever swatch them. However, I'm going to give a shout out to my favorites. So Night Skies from the Pastel Roses is like a blue to yellowy purple. Absolutely gorgeous. Where's Milky Way? See, I can spot it a mile off now. Milky Way, absolutely stunning over any eyeshadow look. It's one of those opalescent kind of sheer shades. This shade, Pastel Clouds, very similar to Night Skies, but without that yellowiness, as you can see there. Stunning. This is what I've been loving for like neutral eyeshadows. This is the shade Virgo, and it's got that taupe base, but it's got like a whole disco in here. It's crazy. It's got every single shade ever. It's one of those proper holographic shades. Technic, I've got a glitter from. I've got a Nabla glitter palette here. These three with names on them are from K Rose B, and this was an Instagram brand like eons ago. I don't know if they're still going. I don't think they are, but I've just got 3 really nice shades. So this is like an iridescent, I'm gonna regret this. Yeah, this is like an iridescent yellowy kind of shade. Then I've got a bright teal, and then this is just like a pure white. And I love all of them. They're all beautiful. They're all my babies. Then, of course, I have my collection Glam Crystals. I'm most likely going to be decluttering these at the end of the year, just because they're really, really old. These are more of like that glitter paste formula. Very not selling them there. But yeah, this is all my glitters. Absolutely wild. I know. Let's move swiftly on. All right, the final category. Oh my goodness me. This has been a long video. This is eyeliner. So in April, I had 13 eyeliners, and I'm trying my best to get all of these swatches off my arm, but I just look like the Tin Man now, which is nice. Not quite the style I was going for, but that's all right. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, which is a little bit of a jump up. So I did buy these Mitchell Make a Mark liners quite recently. These are all liquid liners. Oh my God, I forgot. Guys, false alarm. I have 17, 18, 19. 19! It's gone up even more. Yep, 19. I forgot my cake liners. So, the Made by Mitchell liners were recent purchases. I did do like a mini review of these. I really like the blue and the green. The yellow, I'm just not a fan of. This blue, I've got to swatch, is, okay, it didn't perform very well there. This is what I mean. They're so hit and miss. Hello? There we go. Once you get them going, they're really, really pretty. Okay, I need to store them upside down because otherwise they are pretty tricky to work with. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16. Then I did buy these two. So Prance is a replacement because I just absolutely love Prance, and my original one dried out, and you can see that shade there. It's so stunning. And then while I was making a ColourPop order, I've really wanted a bright yellow waterliner, so I picked up Punch as well. Punch seems to be going a little bit dry already. which is interesting. Okay. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. What else? What else did I bring in? I have no idea. Who knows at this point? Honestly, I have no clue. But that is why I really want to do this kind of video. I just want to actually know what category I'm putting everything in. All my other inventory videos, I feel like they've just been kind of guessing what category each thing belongs in. And now I have video footage of where everything is going, where I want everything to be. I'm just making sure I don't have anything else. I do have 2 mascaras. Let's just like talk about these really quickly. 2 mascaras. This one is my favorite, and then this one is a waterproof. I don't really want to get into that because, I mean, we've been here long enough. But this is it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I've been filming for 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is nuts. That is bonkers. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you got to the end, you are an absolute trooper. If you made it to the end, comment a little eye emoji with a blue heart. That's gonna make me so unbelievably happy. I'm fully expecting not to see any eye and blue hearts because I'm probably just talking to myself right now. But I'm gonna go because this has been a long one. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for my final inventory video, which is going to be my lip collection. So stick around for that because that's going to be so much fun. Alrighty then, I'll see you then. Bye bye.